Hey loves, welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's your first time here. Hi, my name is Abigail. So in today's video, I want to share with you how you can reinvent yourself in your 20s, because I know that being in your 20s can feel really confusing, and at the same time you're still figuring out who you are. So trust me, I can 100% relate to it because I am still there. On some days you feel like you have to have your whole life figured out. Other days you just realize that you're just getting started. So in today's video, I want to share with you how you can reinvent yourself in your 20s, not in a fake or overnight success kind of way, but in a small intentional steps that actually works. Okay, so without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So reinvention is not about becoming a different person, it's about evolving. And most of us might probably have to reinvent more than once while being in our 20s. It could be you changing your career or just outgrowing old habits and mindsets. And it's actually okay to outgrow all these things. And mind you, you do not owe people the same version of you forever. And you would agree with me that you're not the same person you were as at 5 years back, and you cannot remain that same kind of person currently and in years to come. So reinvention is something that would definitely take place, if that makes sense. But a lot of people have this mindset that when it comes to reinvention, it has to do with money. You need to attain a certain level in life to be able to reinvent yourself, which is actually not true. There are certain ways you can reinvent yourself that does not require money, if that makes sense. And that is something I'm going to be sharing in this video. Reinvention starts with vision. You have to visualize what you want your life to be now and in years to come, if that makes sense. If you could describe the best version of yourself right now, what would it look like? Do you think when it comes to being disciplined, you are disciplined? Or do you think you're actually living a very healthy lifestyle? So if you know there are certain things that you're not doing right and you want to start doing them. For example, do you want to become more disciplined? Do you want to live a healthier lifestyle? You have to write these things down because clarity alone shapes how we move daily. Because when you have clarity, it helps you with the way you live your life on a daily basis. So you want to make sure that you're very intentional when it comes to reinventing yourself. And this is something that I have done. When I did this myself, I realized that I was holding on to certain habits that doesn't align with my kind of person, that I had to change, that I am still working on changing. That is what reinvention is all about. So reinvention does not necessarily mean that you have to have your whole life upside down, like flip your whole life upside down. No, it's just small habits that compound over time. I actually made a video on how you can build a consistent habit that actually stick. If you haven't watched that video, I would encourage you, I would urge you to go and watch that video. You would really enjoy that video and you will learn a lot from that video when it comes to building habits. I'm going to put the link in the description card and somewhere around here so you can go watch the video later. So you don't necessarily have to flip your life upside down because you're trying to reinvent yourself. For example, if you want to reinvent yourself physically, you can start by working out, eating more healthy, if that makes sense. If you want to reinvent yourself mentally, you can also read books, a lot of books. This would help you. But when it comes to the financial aspect, you don't necessarily need to have money, a lot of money, before you can reinvent yourself financially. What about um, taking note of how you spend your little money you have now? Because there's this saying that, is it a saying or like it's a fact that if you have probably 100 naira now and you cannot use that 100 naira wisely, you cannot save from that 100 naira, when you have millions or billions, you will not be able to account for it properly, right? So for you to be able to account for the millions and the billions you're going to have in years to come, it starts with you accounting for the little money you have right now. So you can also reinvent yourself financially even with the little money that you have by taking note of how you spend your money, track your expenses, if that makes sense, and make sure that you're spending money wisely. You're spending money on the things that are important, necessary, your basic needs, if that makes sense, not just spending money on unnecessary things. So if you're able to build that habit now, when you have much money, which I pray we will all do, you'll be able to account for it properly. So these small steps may not feel like a huge change, but best believe that probably in the next 6 months or in the next 1 year, you'll start seeing the effect of these little changes that you've made. So it's about you doing things bit by bit. You don't necessarily have to do things in a large way for you to see massive result. It has to be bit by bit. Mind you, when something is slow doesn't mean it's not working or it's not right. When it's slow, you're making progress. So with time, it will compound into something really good. And also, you cannot reinvent yourself if you feel stuck in the same environment that keeps pulling you back. And this involves the type of people you associate yourself with. It doesn't mean that you have to cut everybody off because you're trying to reinvent yourself. What it simply means is that you need to be intentional as to the people you allow into your space, if that makes sense. So I want you to ask yourself, the people that you're currently associating with, are they inspiring you or are they draining you? What are their values and their principles? Do their values and principles align with your own values and principles? Is your daily routine helping you grow or keeping you stuck? Ask yourself this question. If your answers to these questions are no, then it means that you have a lot to work on because your associates matters a lot. There's this saying that show me your friend and I will show you who you are. I know that it has become so popular that people take this saying for granted, but it's actually true. The people that you associate with would really have a huge impact on your life. So ask yourself this question and answer it. If your answer is positive or negative, then you know what to do. So reinvention means you need to change certain things. Like I said, it doesn't mean that you have to become a different person, but it means that you have to make certain changes. Changes such as your friends, your environment, or changing things that actually doesn't align with your type of person or the type of person you want to become. That is what reinvention is all about. And when it comes to reinvention, a lot of people are scared. And I think that is one of the scariest thing about being in your 20s. We are scared to start all over. I have been there. I understand how it feels when you have to start all over again. But it's actually okay to start all over because it gives you a fresh start, a soft landing to do things right. Okay, you don't have to be scared. It's okay to be scared, but don't allow that fear to hold you back from starting if you feel like you have to start all over again. There are certain people that have to change their career more than once or twice in their life just to get to where they want to be. If they are not like bold to take that step, do you think they will be able to get to where they want to be in life? Certainly not. So it's totally normal and okay to feel scared, but someone up courage to start. If that makes sense. And being in your 20s is the best time to experiment, to try new things. It's one of the best times to learn and unlearn certain habits because when years have passed by, it might be too late for you to make these changes. So when you're still young, you're still in your 20s, you have that freedom, you have the opportunity to make things right. So do not be scared to start all over. It's normal to be scared, but do not allow that fear hold you back from starting all over if you feel like you need to start all over. And I also want you to bear in mind and understand that starting all over does not mean you failed. It means that you have that boldness, that you have that courage to make change, which is actually a very good thing. Not everybody has that audacity to start all over again. Do you understand? So some people allow fear to hold them back, but I'm letting you know or telling you now that do not allow fear to hold you back. So if you're starting all over, it doesn't mean that you failed. It means that you're bold and you're confident to make changes in your life, which is actually a very good thing. Okay, so reinvention doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have a lot of money. You just need to watch the things that you do currently that doesn't align with your type of person or where you're going. So, and that has to do with you paying attention to the people you associate with. That also has to do with you paying attention to your habits and your environment. If you're living or you're in the right environment, it will help you grow. If you're associating with the right people, it will help you grow and become a better person, right? And if you feel like a certain career or a certain habit doesn't align with you and you make that changes, it will help you grow to become a better person. So you see that it's not all about money. Do you understand? It's the little things that count. Yeah, it's little things that count. And I feel like our associates, our environment, and our habit, the things we do, define who we are. There's no other thing that will define who you are. So these are the things that you want to pay attention to and work on them. If you're able to work on all these things and every box is tick, check, check, right? You're definitely going to be a better person, honestly. Okay? And like I said, if you're starting all over, it doesn't mean you failed. If you want to start now, good. If you want to start tomorrow, good. But the most important thing is that you start. Okay? Alright. So if you're in your 20s and you feel stuck, I want you to remember that reinvention is all about small and intentional steps. Okay? You have to start small to be able to see results or improvements. And I also want you to remember that growth is a process. You don't have to rush it. Sometimes growth comes really fast, and other times it's really slow. But when it's slow, just remember that it's still growth, okay? And we are all work in progress. I am still a work in progress. You are still a work in progress, so it's totally fine and normal. So if you enjoyed this video and you learned one or two from this video, or you have something to share, feel free to do that. And please kindly give this video a very big thumbs up, leave a comment, and also share your thoughts about this in the comment section. And if you got this far and you haven't subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Kindly hit the subscribe button and turn notification bell so you can be notified anytime I get to publish a new video. On this note, see you in my next video. Bye.